Petrotrin is in a deep, dark hole, and something must be done quickly to save the state-owned oil company. Minister of Energy and Energy Industries, Franklin Cann, held a media conference on Sunday to update the national community on government's plans for Petrotrin. On a Sunday afternoon, when he should have been enjoying a siesta after a healthy lunch, the energy minister laid bare the facts about the state-owned oil company. Minister Cann said Petrotrin has serious systemic, structural and operational issues which have to be dealt with. These include a massive debt profile of some 13 billion TT dollars, the repayment of an $850 million US bond due in November 2019, salaries and wages in excess of 50% of its operating costs, and a debt of $3.5 billion to the government for taxes and royalties.
Petrotrin, as we speak, is coming to what you call in astrophysics a black hole. And a black hole means an area of such intense gravity that if it sucks you into it, you cannot come out.
Petrotrin's oil production has dropped significantly in the past few years. It now stands at some 65,000 barrels of oil per day. But the refinery can process 150,000 barrels per day, so Petrotrin is forced to import 110,000 barrels per day. This means Petrotrin, as the state energy company, has now become a net user of foreign exchange. Minister Cann said the restructuring of the state-owned oil company has now become the most fundamental task government faces in terms of this country's future economic fortunes or lack thereof.
If Petrotrin is not handled properly, it could bankrupt this country. Is it as serious as that?
The board of Petrotrin is scheduled to meet with the executive team of the Oilfield Workers Trade Union on Tuesday to share details of government's restructuring plan. Minister Cann is calling on the trade union to treat the discussions with maturity, pragmatism and patriotism.
It's not a fight between Roger and Rowley. It's not a fight between Espinay and Roger. I hear they call my name in the fight yet, but I guess they will do so shortly. It is far more consequential than that.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is expected to divulge the details of the restructuring of Petrotrin in an address to the nation next Sunday, September 2nd. Meanwhile, Energy Minister Franklin Cann has dismissed local headlines implying there was a secret deal for cheap gas following the signing of the historic Dragon gas deal by Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro. Minister Cann noted that two agreements were concluded in Caracas on Saturday, a commercial agreement between Venezuela's state oil company PDVSA, Shell and the National Gas Company, and an agreement signed between the heads of state which commits TNT and Venezuela to the Dragon deal. The energy minister maintained that natural gas prices are strictly confidential in these types of arrangements.
To telegraph to the people of Venezuela that the Venezuelan government is selling extremely cheap gas to Trinidad. That is not the case. The price we are paying is substantially more than the $1, but it is competitive. It is no cheap gas, it is competitively priced gas, and it's obviously no secret Dragon deal. So I hope I have debunked all this misinformation.
The Dragon gas field is owned by PDVSA, and Trinidad and Tobago will pay PDVSA for the gas, helping monetize that country's hydrocarbon assets. The Prime Minister said the two most important aspects which have been agreed to are volume and price.
It's a price that is extremely competitive, and it's a better price than we are paying in Trinidad and Tobago for most of the gas that we contracted to supply. It's a better price. And of course, it's a price that is satisfactory to the Venezuelans and to Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago, in a partnership with Shell, will build an 18-kilometer pipeline from the Hibiscus platform off the northwest coast to the Dragon field. From Hibiscus, the gas will then be transferred through existing infrastructure to Point Lisas and other NGC customers. The first tranche, which is expected by 2020, is about 150 million standard cubic feet and could go as high as 300 million standard cubic feet. Well, the opposition United National Congress says the government must give the country details on the gas deal. In a statement this afternoon, the UNC said government took to the media today to defend the secrecy surrounding the Dragon gas deal while still remaining committed to keeping the people of Trinidad and Tobago in the dark. The statement said there was a significant amount of public relations glitz and glamour surrounding Dr. Rowley's trip to Venezuela, only for Minister Franklin Cann to admit today that only a term sheet was signed and a government agreement committing to implementation. The party noted this deal has immense local and international ramifications, so the country must be given the details to ensure that this is a good deal for Trinidad and Tobago.